party people. Welcome to Senior Cats, the Bear Bold. My name is Buddy, and I'm your host for tonight's conversation. Our guest tonight is a film enthusiast who has composed, acted, written, and directed. The second installment of the Great American Trilogy, The Great American Motion Picture, has just entered post-production and will be coming out soon. Please welcome Kole Boyd.
Hi, buddy. It's so wonderful to be here in this endless void.
Yeah, how'd you get here?
Dude, honestly, it just kept redirecting me until I just appeared in this spot. So I'm really glad to be here with you.
Did you take like a Mario pipe to get here?
It's exactly what I took was a Mario pipe.
You just saw like a green.
And I took the leap of faith. And I'm so glad to be here with you.
And that's exactly what you have to do.
Yes.
Note that. I'm going to note that.
Take a leap of faith, you guys.
Take a leap of faith.
That's
Hey,
important.
That person did it in Inception. Without Inception, where would we be now?
Faithless, probably. Dude, can I tell you, it's so interesting to do an interview with you because I feel like I'm also like a host, sort of. So like it's just like we're two.
Yeah, you're right.
We're two.
It's like, we're actually hosting each other.
Positive size of a magnet. You know what I mean?
Maybe you should do my intro. One take and go.
Oh yeah, sure. Good morning, party people. Today I'm joined with the incomparable Buddy. I don't know your last name. I'm just realizing that now as I'm saying it.
That's fine. Keep going.
The incomparable Buddy. My friend here has written, he has directed, he has confronted his demons. And today I am joined at the hip with this gentleman. And we're going to talk a little bit about film, which I'm very excited to do with you, my friend.
I can't believe you did that in one.
Is that good? I think that was like really weird.
Did you see how many I did?
Yeah, but that was
I do like 17.
You're like what's his name from Django Unchained? I forget his name.
Christoph Waltz.
Christoph Waltz. He does everything like very repetitiously until he gets it perfectly, and I akin that to you, my friend.
Well, let's start off right there. Why acting? I mean, you have four things that people try to just master in one lifetime. Not saying that you're a master, not saying that you're not, because your work is amazing. But let's tackle one of them. Where did acting start for you?
Yeah, no, I think at first I'm just, before anything else, I'm an enthusiast. Like I just like to dive into stuff like head first.
You're super passionate about this.
Yeah.
When you're super passionate, you dive.
Yeah, I'm a diver for sure.
Let's dive together.
Let's dive.
Into you.
And I think my first experience with acting was in high school. I was very much a theater kid growing up. I just fell into it like randomly, like sophomore to junior year. And I was definitely in the deep end when I started because I was the lead in the junior class, and then I was like also in the same show on the senior class, like playing a minor role. So I was playing two roles the first time I ever acted in anything. And I just loved the feeling of it. I liked the showmanship of it. I like preparing lines and creating a character. So I think when I'm writing and directing projects now, it's always from the basis of like what it's like to be an actor first. There's a relationship that an actor has with the material that a director, and I can say this as a director, that like they just will never understand because you're the one saying it and performing it and bringing it to life. And so I think like my enthusiasm for writing or directing and everything, it started with acting because I got to like experience what it's like to bring some words to life and, you know, make people laugh or jump or cry even. So it's an interesting, I feel like I'm being so pretentious. But
No. I'm with you. I would have to say above anything, before I really even wanted to become a film anything, I was an actor. I feel like we all are because at least for me, and I feel like a lot of people, it was like at one point, I mean, something a little longer than this was a wand.
Yeah.
What was a wand? A Harry Potter.
What
and
is
you
a
just
pen but not a wand?
What did you say?
What is a pen but not a wand?
Exactly. Better close a window to open a door. And so, and at one point it was like, if larger stick, what was it? It was a lightsaber. Mm-hmm. So like we used to play outside and literally act things out and like think about it. It's in the same correlation between like when people play basketball and practice basketball and they're imagining obstacles in their way, like literal players, and like they're thinking about buzzer beaters and stuff like that. And even when it comes to other sports as well, I feel like a big portion of what we do, and at least in my childhood, was just acting. It was just playing characters. And I thought that was really important. And I think I kind of wanted to do it, but I didn't know really how. It didn't really turn into anything. But funny you say that the connection between a director and its material and an actor director and their material. I always forget when I watch, but in Con Mis Dedos, I'm in it.
Yeah.
I always forget that I'm in the movie. And when it came to doing that, I am like 100% sure, if I remember correctly, I never wrote anything for my role.
Mm.
I don't even know if I even wrote that part. We just knew that we were going to do it. But when I was in the moment, I had really no lines. I mean, I was in front of the camera and Calvin was in front of me, behind the camera.
Sure, yeah.
And so it was just, creating it. And like it was kind of like improv, but the material was like there. Like I knew what I wanted to do in terms of the energy that scene was providing. And you're right. You can't, I don't know, you can't replicate it. It's just it's so hard to explain.
It's the most alive you can be sometimes. Like you touched on something that I find really interesting. I also acted in my thesis film. It's a very minor role. My film prior in the first part of the trilogy, it's my character.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And my idea for the second movie was to follow a different character for the second film. I thought that was like a cool idea. Everything starts with an idea. Once I get a little bit of a flame of like, oh, this would be cool. Like, what if I did this? And then I just start trying to figure out the puzzle piece of like what to do next. But what I thought was really interesting was that when I was acting in the second film, I don't even really remember doing it. It was like, it felt like a performance. Like, I don't know if you ever did, like, I guess you just said you haven't done like theater acting or like what that kind of experience is like.
I kind of wish I did.
Well, like the first time you do it, like the first couple of times, it feels like you kind of black out. Like you don't remember it. It's just like such an experience of going out there and like, it's a lot of adrenaline rushing and you don't really remember the experience. That's kind of how I felt when we were shooting Great American Motion Picture, because it was all these months of rehearsals. I think we must have rehearsed every Sunday for a semester. Getting the mechanics done of because the Wonder is quite complicated to pull off, and there's a lot of like tricks and gags and things like that like require just a lot of time to like work out.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were doing it, we would meet every Sunday. It felt like I was rehearsing almost like for a play, but it was just so like I can my thesis film almost like doing a play. It felt like I was doing a play that was just with a moving camera, and we're going to follow these people around for a little bit and going in and out to one character and shifting perspective and following another person. So when we were actually shooting it, I have very little memory of being on set. Like I just remember I yelled action or like let's like start or whatever I said, and then I just have a blackout between that and like when we cut at the end of it, because it's a lot of pressure if somebody messes up a line, if someone's not in the right position during a cross or we have like a couple of hidden cuts in that film where like someone like people will walk by with a black rag, and like we'll do like a Texas switch or whatever where like they walk by with the black rag and it cuts in that moment of darkness or whatever. But if any single one of those things is off by a little bit, there's just so much pressure to get that right. So it's weird. I don't remember shooting it, but when I look back on it, I'm just so happy that I had the opportunity to make something that everyone there was just trying to do something that we've never done before. My DP, his name's also Kole Boyd. Shout out to my friend. He's a Steadicam operator. He was a Steadicam operator when I met him, and I asked him like, "Hey, I have this idea for a oneer. It's incredibly complicated." And he was like, "Oh yeah, no, yeah, okay, sounds good." And so he agreed to take a meeting with me, and I acted out the entire play. Like I was basically explaining like, I'm here, and then the camera's here, and then we turn like this, and then like we're doing all the like I was like describing 180s and all that kind of stuff, and it's written into the script. Where was I going with this?
I don't know, but I did have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
2 questions, really.
Yes.
1, would you rather act in a play or would you rather act in a movie?
I think they're both really unique experiences, and there's stuff that you can't get from the other one, right? Like if I'm doing a play, I get to like bring something to life for that specific audience of people right then and there. And like they get to experience something that I'm doing. I'm getting to experience something that I'm doing for the first time. And it's just like there's like a live moment that we're capturing in that moment. But a movie, it just goes on forever. It can exist forever. And like, I think what's great about it is that after you've done whatever you've brought to the table, whatever you decided to do in those however many takes you as an actor or like you as a director wanted that person to bring to life, you just have like this entire like catalog of stuff to pick from to like cut the greatest thing you can possibly make. I'm an editor as well. I always edit my own films.
So, film enthusiast, editor, add that.
Sorry. But yes, that is, I think I started editing when I was like in the 7th grade or something like that off of iMovie. And like, it just like, that was everyone's like, that was the intro, dude. You know, you got to start, everyone's got to start somewhere. And yes, sorry.
No, please finish. Don't think that just because I raised my pen.
Oh no, the pen was just like, oh my God, the pen's coming up. Something's got to happen here. It's like a magic wand. But, call back. But, there we go. Hi, you're watching Disney Channel.
There you go.
Thank you, editor. But no, it's what was I just saying, dude? I have ADHD.
I was going to ask you,
preface this interview by saying that.
The amount of molecules that are moving at such a pace right now.
Insane, ridiculous.
NASCAR and F1 have nothing on us.
Yeah, we should have like a moderator in between that's like, it's like you were talking about this.
Could you imagine if someone was taking the minutes?
Oh, what an insane job that would be.
They'd have to have a minute person per person.
We were just talking about something. This is crazy.
So my next question is this. Because of how it went in your experience for the Great American Motion Picture, and it seems like you love theater and you love movies, right?
Yes.
And it seems like you kind of had an ethereal experience of kind of experiencing both because it was a movie, but also it was a oneer. So you had to do it so many times, and rehearsal is such an important part about like the theater, right? Because you do it so many times. Would you want to try and continue and keep those worlds as close together as possible when it comes to your next film or films to come?
You know, I think in the trilogy, I definitely would want to stick to that because the world I've created is absolutely theater actors. I mean, everyone in my first film and in the second one were people that I've either acted across on the stage before, or I've just seen their work on stage and I just thought they were phenomenal. The cast in the second film: Diana Maldonado, Caitlin Capri, Terry Nickerson. I've gotten to actually act scenes with them before in like either a play or previous films. So I definitely love writing things that are closer to theater because there's a certain rhythm that plays have that I am absolutely in love with. Like that's probably the one thing that I feel like my films, more than anything, if I had to like say something that I bring to the table, is just my love for dialogue. Like I just like when it has like a certain cadence and a rhythm. And it
almost feels like a song. It almost feels like everybody's singing.
So like a lot of the lines in that film, like I wanted them to be lines that could stick with a person forever. Like I wrote a lot of raps growing up when I was in like middle school and stuff like that, and I still do. But like in rap, when you rap, like if you write a bar, like that's a bar. You know what I mean? But
that's a bar.
That's a bar. So I wanted my dialogue to feel like bars, if that makes any sense. And there's a lot of like quips and like comebacks and things like that. And I'd like to think that these are the comebacks you think of like 3 hours later in the shower. That's the whole film. Yes. The whole film is that. It's just like all of those like real like gut punching, like really like clever. Some of my favorite things I've ever like written down on a page before. Like I compressed that into this film. And like that's what I was most proud of before I had the idea to do a oneer or anything else. Like it was just like I wanted to make something that like dialogue wise I was just so incredibly enthusiastic about. But yeah, I love dialogue. Like Aaron Sorkin is a really big inspiration to me. Yeah. I feel like he's somebody that like I look up to in terms of like someone who can make playwriting really good for film. So yeah, this is a part that I really enjoy.
It does feel like singing, and with the Wonder-esque and the performance-esque of the Great American Motion Picture. Since on top of that you were in it, how did you direct it? And what was, yeah, how? Like, I can't even, like, especially because you're in it. It's one thing to not be in it, but the other thing is, like, you're literally in it. So
Yeah.
it's, how did you direct, and what was the process of rehearsal?
Oh yeah. So in the very
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in the very beginning, it was just me and the actors. Like, it started in Zooms. It started with like just straight up rehearsals, and like we read the script and we go line for line. There's a lot of like very specific jokes in there that like only work if you're delivering it in the proper way. So like that was important to get that out of the way first.
Okay.
And then when we got in person, and then we started to like feel comfortable going without the scripts and like moving around a little bit, it just over time became much more natural. And because I was part of the cast, I think it gave me a leg up. It just gave me the opportunity to like really like get the, I don't like to be so incredibly specific, but like whenever I go into any part of production, like I come in with a golden plan. Like in my mind, it's like the golden plan. I'm subject to letting it change. Like if I can can I give advice?
Sure.
It's incredibly important to be collaborative with everyone else in every department. Like they're going to bring things to the production that you can never possibly even imagine or conceive. I was fortunate enough to have really great collaborators on that project.
There's some amazing people on there.
But I got to collaborate with a lot of great people. But when I started it, I had to come in with a sense of confidence about like what I've written on the page, or like, and like my ideas of direction were like, this is how I want to start it. Like I have ideas, but I am confident enough to know that like, if I like an idea, I'll add it to the list. If I don't like an idea, I'll say no. But you have to come in with something. You can't, it's like, it's important to come in with like some sort of rule book. You just have to be okay with that rule book changing.
It kind of sounds like you have a pool.
Yes.
And there is a water limit that you'd like to keep it at. But you are not at all afraid about the pool overflowing.
Mm-hmm.
You're so down for people to jump in, cannonball, bring their own hoses, bring their own water supply.
Please.
Like, bring the sewers, get the fire hydrants, overfill the water, overfill the pool. But at the end of the day, once the water has already been and filtered out, you're going to take the little things that are needed to get down to that line. But it is really interesting to just say, hell yes, just give me everything. I'd rather have everything rather than that one thing that we could have missed, that we could have had.
Yeah.
Please just tell me everything. Whereas I feel like everybody would be so scared, because it almost feels like with directing, there's too many options.
Sure. That's the
and
whole
there's so many possibilities for any one moment, especially with a oneer. And so even for me, I'd have to fight for control, I feel like, when it comes to a oneer. And I have long takes and I have longer takes, but for a full-blown oneer, I feel like it would have to be so perfect and I would already have it in my head and to just keep going. Yeah. But you're like, no, we have an idea. I know exactly what it could look like, but let's see what it could look like.
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. Like there was a lot of things lighting wise that my DP got to, like he knew what I was trying to do. And I think a great direct relationship that you can have with the DP is like, they understand what you're trying to do and then they can add more to that. And like, there was so many great ideas he had. He added to the film just in terms of lighting design that I was just like, dude, not in a million years would I ever have thought to like do something like that. Like there's this really fantastic part of the film. I was going to say shot, but but there's a section of the shot where, we see a character and she's sitting on the ground and it's like a overhead shot and we zoom out and we see a long shadow like hanging over. It's like a doom and gloom kind of like hanging shadow thing.
Oh, that's sick.
And then it's Cecile, our lead character. And then we turn around and then we reveal Cecile standing in the doorway. But in order to make that happen, we had to have this enormous light on like a rolling beefy baby that couldn't be visible when we turned around. So Hunter Dunn, a phenomenal grip, was like holding the beefy baby as we're like the camera's not on him, and then the moment it turns around, he rolls it out of the way.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it's just Cecile standing there. That might be one of the greatest things I ever got to achieve in all of like I've gotten to do a lot of cool stuff.
Because it's like it's almost cartoony. It's animated.
Yeah, of course.
But you're literally doing it physically in real life. I
Yeah.
love stuff like that. I love when you can take, and I know like I feel like Tarantino is like probably one of the most famous people for like his films kind of feel cartoony in a way
Sure,
because
yeah.
they're so there's like a cartoonish animated feel to it where I love physicality when it comes to cartoons because
Mhm.
like they're literally moving in ways that are impossible in our reality.
Right.
And so it is cool when you can do your best to take that fictitious
Yeah.
reality and put it into your actual physical reality.
No, yeah, absolutely.
And that shadow thing is so cool.
Oh my gosh. And I just like if I had just done what I came in with, I would have never gotten an opportunity to make something like that. So I do think it's important to always try your best to collaborate with every department. Like they can do things like Anthony Hayes. Like I kind of just let him run wild a little bit. The idea was to make the set look like a studio. So I was like, can you just make posters and put them on the walls and like as like previous movies? And that's all the direction I gave him. So he came back and he like had all these like these enormous like 2x4 like posters on like, and he put them all against the walls and we had it lined up. At the time, there was no reference for what I was trying to make, but a really good example of like what I was trying to do is the studio on Apple TV. Like, that is literally the first 10 minutes of that movie are just straight up like what I was doing with like Great American. Not saying they should cut me a check or anything. No, but
you did it before. Whoa! I didn't say anything.
I'm just kidding.
That's water.
No, that's insane. We're being insane. But yeah. I feel like I'm missing things that I want to talk to you about, but there's like
Don't
a
worry,
thousand
you're not
things
missing
that's
a
running
thing.
through my
I
head
have another
right now.
question. No worries.
Please, by all means.
Do I have a question?
Can
Indeed, I do. If you have a question,
So I just wanted to talk about something that like I've been really fortunate in my quote unquote career to do things that every opportunity I was just like, how in the world is it possible that I'm getting to do this right now?
mhm.
Like I shot a mockumentary that was it was a comedy, and I was really delving myself into that. I got to shoot it on red cameras, which was something that I was like, how do I even have this right now? Brilliant actors, and that was a time where I was like, okay, this is something that's cool that I'm getting to do. I was fortunate enough to shoot a commercial at American Dream Mall, and the experience of it was incredible because I got to do things where like we were shooting in the amusement park before it opened, and so we could turn on certain rides so that we could have them going on in the shot. That like and I feel like every time I get to the Wonder is another example of just something that I was just so excited to do because like everyone's getting to do something that we're like really passionate about making. And I feel like the one thing that's consistent in my career is the fact that like there is change always, like present change.
Yes.
But I get the feeling of going on set and feeling like I'm getting to do something that I've never gotten to do before. And that is something I think everyone should try to chase, is the feeling of like, oh my God, what they're letting us do. Like, they're letting us do, like we've gotten to do something that like we shouldn't be allowed to do.
Yeah.
I think the first sense of that was in high school when I wrote a musical, and it was usually the Winter One act. It was something that was like a play that was written by the whole class. And I just came to my teacher and I was like, hey, I wrote this musical. Can I do that instead? And
This feels like the Boondocks.
Yeah, it was essentially a Boondocks.
Literally.
And she gave it a lot of thought, but then eventually she was like, yeah, like we've never done that before. Like, that'll be something to try to work out. And I got to do something that made me feel like I got the keys to the kingdom for the first time. And I feel like as long as I have that feeling of like getting the keys to something, like it's just sort of I don't know, like maybe that's a high that I'm chasing, and like, and maybe I probably should find something else that's not as loose of an idea to chase. But that's something that I feel really passionate about, is that feeling of like, I cannot believe I'm getting to do this incredible thing. with these incredible people, like this interview.
Yeah, it is like, it's so crazy you say that today of all days. But it is really like, I feel like a lot of times we want to try and present that we haven't done enough sometimes,
Sure.
that we want to do more. But then usually we look back and we're like, well, we already have come this far. Of course, you're comparing yourself to other things, and so that's why you don't think you've done enough. But you look back in a positive light and you're like, wow, we've gone this far. Like, we've done this much, especially with my films. You know, like,
Yeah.
I'm super grateful to have done everything, especially the movie that I feel like I did not a great job at. That one to me is probably the most important. And it's crazy because I was also living with someone that, I don't know if that like was subconscious or not, but I was living with someone at the time that loved whatever the project or art or whatever it was that was before someone was their best. Like,
Mm.
I told them what was like their favorite J. Cole album. And they were like, the White Album, the Sinners album, whatever. That's before 2014.
Right. Yeah.
He knows 2014 is the best.
Yeah.
And he loves it. But he loves the one before it even more because it's the one before
Yeah.
the big one.
Yeah, of
like
course.
same thing with like, he loved Reservoir Dogs more than he did Pulp Fiction.
I see.
And he had like a list of like everything, like, and I kept asking him, and it was like literally every single time. And that one to me is probably the most important because I felt like the lowest I'd ever been was after that, because I feel like I failed so hard and I feel like I had the possibility to do something so great. But to me, it's the most important because I learned so much from it. And then I don't know, I feel like an exponential growth happened from there that like,
Yeah.
and to be honest, sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm looking for my next fail, to be honest.
Failure is the best thing.
Like, give me the next horrible thing.
Yeah.
Because I know the next thing after that is about to be like wild.
Yeah. A face plummet, probably the best thing for anybody is like, I do remember those moments of like having like, this is a bomb and I'm sitting in the bomb. I'm sitting in like the stink of it. You know what I mean? And I think you learn so much from that moment because you know that you never want to feel that again, you know?
Mhm.
And it's just important to like failure. You want to fail as quickly as you possibly can. And I'm stealing that from, I think it's Donald Glover that said that, but like you fail fast and fail hard because like after that, you just learn so much. It's like a curve. You learn exponentially after a failure. And so like I've had some stinkers. I was going to say my project that shall not be named. We'll just leave it at that. I remember sitting there as it was being screened and like just knowing that like the vision didn't come together. My point didn't get across. I wasn't able to like articulate in the way I wanted to. And I was just kind of sitting in it and watching my other, my other colleagues just sit there and watch me like kind of fail in front of them. And it stunk and it was the worst and like, you know, all that kind of great stuff. And then immediately after that, I was just like, okay, how do I do something that's in 1,000 times better, you know? And I think, yeah, it's just, I love that. I love those moments. Like it's like incredibly important to have.
And what's funny is that when I screened mine, it felt like a harpoon was going through me. And funny enough, do you know Tommy Coffey?
Tommy Coffey.
He's good
Probably
friends
by face,
with
not name.
Krasinski. He's probably the one. Yeah, I think he edited Blasphemy.
Okay.
He was with me when we screened my movie that shall not be named.
Yes, of course.
And he, of course, and then he came to me and he was like, you know, you're the only one that tried to do this one thing. And you should kind of be happy for that.
Yeah.
Because that was really cool. And of course it was like faith destructive out of that. But like the one thing I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
I'm actually in a community of people that were like, you know, thinking for me and like actually saw something positive
Yeah, absolutely.
out of this.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're like with what you're saying with collaboration. And also someone I think Barry Jenkins said something about that. He's like, don't network. Network is probably the worst thing that you could possibly do to yourself.
Mhm.
Find people that you would love to work with. Don't just find people and try to like just spread yourself thin to anything and everything that can propel you up. Just be with your people that you love to work with and be with the people that you've collaborated with, and that's your network. Don't try to just thin it out just because you can, because it's so easy now. It's like, you know, with you, like collaboration, and just be with people that are going to fill the pool to the max. Just let it overflow.
Cannonball it, you know? All right. Sorry. Okay. When I go to an analogy, it's just like we're in deep doo-doo. Can I curse on here? Okay.
Absolutely.
Deep.
You have my permission.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But I was going to go somewhere with that, but I lost it.
That's fine. Again, the amount of molecules that are moving at this table,
firing on all cylinders, you know?
Absolutely.
But no, I do feel like in those moments where failure is like at the forefront of your mind and it feels like a fog, and you're like, there's nothing that can like comfort me right now. I feel like I learned a lot when I came to Montclair specifically, and like I came from a liberal arts school before this. I was like, I also a film major there, but it was very much theory based, and so there wasn't a cage or any like film department. It was like a tripod that we fought against amongst 15 other people.
Yes.
And coming to the cage, I felt like a kid in a candy shop because it was just like there was so much equipment and there was so many people that like were not aggressively, just very enthusiastically trying to make something happen. And I was so inspired by that I felt,
let's get in the wagon.
Let's get
on the carousel.
Yeah. And I'll admit that before I came here, I had definitely a bit of an ego thing where I thought that I was quite good at what I did. And I carried that with me. I was like, well, you know, no one else has my pen, you know, or like whatever it was that I was like carrying with me. But when I got here and I got to see just how hard people work and how enthusiastic they are about whether it's directing or acting or what, you know, whatever their craft is, I was just so inspired that there's other people that I felt similar to. And so I had to really rearrange the way I thought about myself and the world. And I was like, you know what? I'm just here to learn now. I just want to become a student again and like not carry around this persona of like being a quote unquote like master of my domain or whatever. And that's actually what Great American Screenplay, the first one, is like all about.
Yes.
I was like confronting this, and I obviously I'm playing myself in the first one. I got really into color theory, like
dude,
you know this. David Fincher as a really elaborate color theory that he uses, and a lot of his it's different for every one of his films. Like a big one in The Social Network. Can I talk about this for a second?
The green pink thing.
Dude.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's just and how it can.
I personally don't see the green, but I know exactly what he's saying.
There,
the yellow. To me, I see yellow. I don't know where green is coming from.
No, yeah.
But yes, I understand the green pink thing.
Well, I used the similar principle for my film in the American Screenplay, where the color white represented like being a white belt. So like being a novice or someone that's like trying to like to, you know,
learn she's
something.
Obviously.
Yeah. So she's like, so the idea of the first film with my character is that he's dressed in a white shirt with a black suit over top. And it's almost as if he's a novice, but he's pretending to be a master. And that's why he's wearing the suit. And then by the end of the film, the jacket is off and it's just him in a white shirt because he's accepted the fact that like he doesn't know everything. And so he's deliberately tried to make himself a white belt again. And so that's what the end of the first film is about. Second film, you know, he's in a gray because he's like learning things. I love color theory. It's like my favorite thing in the world. David Fincher in The Social Network uses it with to display how Mark is feeling at different times in like the most brilliant way possible. And I was like, if I could do like an inkling of that.
I love the, I realized the last time that I watched it, how slowly over time they kind of do this volumetric thing, like this haze thing, where it's like, by the time that you get to the party at the end, it's almost like you can't even see.
Yeah.
Almost like everything is so convoluted. We don't even know how, why, or what we're getting here. And, you know, he's kind of having like almost like this Greek mythological speech about like, you know, we're going to live on the internet and we're not going to be real. And we're,
exactly.
And at that moment, it's like it all comes crashing down immediately. But it's crazy how like, at the bar at the very beginning, there's that little that ounce of just like it's smoky in here a little bit.
Smoky, it's yellow.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you about this for a second? Because I love this movie and I love the color theory in this. Mark, whenever he was shot in an environment that's like yellow and smoky, is uncomfortable. Like his character portrays somebody that's uncomfortable. And whenever he's surrounded by blue light, like a computer screen, or he's isolated by himself, he's more natural, and he's like he feels more in his element
because he immediately goes from there to his computer.
Yeah, exactly.
Screen. Yeah.
And when the mistress character, Justin Timberlake, that sort of separates the duo between him and Andrew Garfield comes into play, he represents to Mark someone that is, you know, cold and calculated like he is, but he can also do the thing that he's always craved to do, which is be sociable. And the first time we see him, he's framed in the color green to represent like the combination of being blue, like the blue and yellow.
At that crazy dinner scene where it's just like, yep.
That melted my mind, dude. Like for real, melting occurring in the brain. And that, I was like, if I can do it like a small inkling of that in my film, you know, with the white belts and the color white representing being a novice and the color black representing, that was
where I want to take I love the way that you explained that.
Oh, thank you, man.
I didn't get it when I watched the movie, but like I don't think that's important. I know sometimes when we're doing things, we're getting so deep, and sometimes someone says, well, the audience is not going to get that. And I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the forefront, like, if you do it for yourself, if you yourself are the audience, of course, there are points and there are things that you're doing that you're trying to make it so other people understand, or else, like in my opinion, every film of mine would just be mishmash. It would just be images just splashing against each other. But so we do an effort for other people to understand a little bit of what we're going through / what the story is. But I think probably one of the most important things you could do is just try to make it for yourself. Even if it's so deep that no one will ever understand it. Right. Do it for yourself, because who else are you going to do it for?
Yeah, I agree that I think if you're doing something initially with the idea of like, this is fun for me, I think everything that I've ever gotten to do is I started doing it because I was like, this is just fun. Like, this is like, I'm having fun collaborating or working on this thing. Like whether that was a play and I was acting in a cast, or whether I was writing a play and I got to like do that, or directing a movie. I just like got a sense of fun and community that like it just, not a lot of things can provide that in the way that working on a project can do that. So, yeah, I think if anything, for my next project, I hope it's good. I hope I get to make something that the world also enjoys, but I would just love to enjoy the experience. And like, that's really the best kind of thing you can ask for, is like, I think I look back on those days from screenplay or motion picture, and I just remember like laughing my ass off. Like every single,
such a good time.
It's just, you have the best time on set, you know? And like, and you're getting to do something that like everyone is like, we're happy that we're getting to make this thing too. And so, yeah, I don't know if I'm speaking to someone or if I'm just saying this for myself, but like, definitely just chase the things that are fun and fulfilling for you personally, and it'll show on camera.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm not going to lie. For me, and I don't know who says this, but it is so true. The hardest thing about a film set is waking up. it is just like every time that I've directed, literally every single morning, it's like horror.
Yeah.
It's just horror. Like I wake up and I want to push the call time at least 5 hours.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah,
I'm
without
like,
fail.
I just want
Mhm.
no part of this. Please. Why did I do this to myself? Why do I think that I can do this to myself? And then literally you arrive, and I don't know, every time I arrive, I have just the best time on set. But I guess it's like you have to get there.
Yeah.
You have to literally make the effort to literally get there, and then good things will happen. One of the last questions I'll ask you is, for your oneer, did you say, this is the amount of times that we're going to do this oneer because this is the amount of time that we have? Or did you, because you're not on screen all the time, and so were you able to look at it from some monitor or some village that at one point you were like, we got it? Or you didn't look at it at all and you just were just like, this is the amount of times that we're going to do it, and if we have it, we have it?
Yeah, I think I tried to do it as many times as I could, because you don't have a lot of times to do the oneer, because it is just we shot the film in one day, and so leading up to leading up to it, it's just like it was like at a certain point we had to get it like clockwork, otherwise this whole thing just won't work.
Yeah.
So I just when on the actual day when we got to film it, I just wanted to let's milk it for everything that it's worth. We worked so hard. Let's try to, definitely work our butts off and try to make something cool. But in terms of because you're right, I'm not on camera all the time. There was moments where I could like sneak off and look at a monitor.
So you
and
did have a monitor.
Yes, I did, and I was able to direct from off screen. And secretly, there are cuts in the film. They're just hidden by like rags and things like that. So we did get to like stop and have breaks and like give Kole a rest from
from Steadicam
hopping. And Jack McCabe, brilliant. He was spotting Kole the entire time, and I could just see like the sweat on his face from the sweat on Kole's face of being like, trying to like not miss anything, and the mic's moving too. It was such a it was a really fun time, and like obviously stressful, but after a certain point we got it down to a science, and we were just so incredibly proud of what we got to do. But in terms of answering your question, we shot it as many times as we could because we did only shoot it in one day. And so I was just
let's just milk it.
Sun up to sundown. Let's get this thing,
The one, I don't know, this is just a feeling that I've been getting since like talking to you. The meta, this is going to be poor
on Mr. Meta,
trying to get this question out. But so with theater and with plays, you're so much in the moment, but you get to probably embody your character the best because you're not getting cut. So you have to live with the actions and the consequences of what you do. Mm-hmm. And those are played out in the future and in the present of what you're going through.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Because the play doesn't stop. The show
must
continues. The show must go on. But with film...
Bars.
But with filming... and on top of that, you're rehearsing like heck. Mm-hmm. So every time that you get out there, it is almost like blackout because then you're just living it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You probably know it so well and you're just going through it and you get to really live the character that you're going through. Whereas film is the exact opposite. You get to do the best you can in the most perfect environments and chunks that you have.
Right.
And what's great is that it does great for the performer because now they don't have to perform for so many people.
Right.
You can just perform to one person.
Exactly.
And that is the camera.
Yeah.
And so it'll get what I love so much about film stuff is that you can get close and a flinch changes everything.
Yeah.
A step, a flex of a muscle, like everything. And so when it comes to that and when it comes to the choices that you made for this film, do you feel like you are taking away or giving in the moments where it's just performative because it's just a oneer,
Right.
or in the moments where it's these chunks, these little moments that you wish could be more perfective or more performative,
Right, yeah.
because of the fact that you're doing it on film,
Yeah.
but you're rehearsing it like
fair.
crazy.
Like, yeah. I think the rehearsal makes it so that when we do shoot it on film, it feels like we're playing to the camera. Because at the end of the day, this is a visual medium, and I want that performance to go to the I want that to go to the screen. I think those rehearsals were so crucial. I mean, we met. I can't exaggerate. Like every Sunday, because like it was so important for them to understand that this camera is going to be here at this moment, and then it's going to be behind you at this section. And so I wanted them to understand that just as much as you guys are a character, so is this camera. There is a lot of oneers in the world that are I watch every oneer possibly imaginable, like in preparation for this film, and I realized that there's like really two categories of oneers. There's the invisible kind that's not supposed to be noticed, and then there's the more experimental. Sometimes it's like it decides where it wants to move. It's a bit like a character, and I chose to do that for this film, and so I was very deliberate in like letting them know where the camera motions are, because at any given moment, somebody's going to be playing to the camera. There's like, we had like maybe 20 or 30 extras that are playing the crew. And so I wanted movement all the time in the foreground, in the background. I want people crossing the frame, moving diagonally, like just moving in any kind of direction, because I wanted them to fully understand that like anything and everything, like while we're shooting and while we're doing this, will be caught on camera. So your performances, I want everyone to feel as though they're performing, like they're in the moment, and they're
you kind of
something.
Combined the two. And funny enough that you say that the camera is a character, and sorry if I'm offending you with this question.
Please offend away.
Please offend away. I love you.
I love you too.
And I love who you are. And one thing that I can see in your film, and especially because you said that the camera is a character in the Great American Motion Picture, it feels sometimes as if every character and everything in your film is you. Like, it almost feels like every single character, it's almost like you're also speaking. And so do you think that's subconsciously because you see yourself in everybody? So you get to see, I mean, I always think of you as a very good person. So is it that you're always seeing yourself in a positive way, or you're seeing the positive in everyone that you see in the world? Or do you just see some sort of connection that you could possibly have to every possible person that you come in contact with?
I very much am constantly chasing, I probably should stop doing this, but connecting to everyone. So that film is absolutely a representation of me trying to connect and show people that that we're all the same, or that we're similar in different aspects. And Audrey plays like kind of a snarky, meaner character, but I wanted her to still feel lovable, and like that's why I wanted her to be the lead of this film. My character from the first one was a bit more sincere and closer to who I am as a person, but I wanted like a more harsh or rude version to be the presence of this screen, because I wanted everyone to accept them, even though they aren't the nicest or the kindest person that's been brought to light. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but
when you want to connect with someone, what is the most important part of your connection?
Laughter, comedy. I think that's why I lean towards that, is because it's the first thing that, like, if we're both laughing, I know that like we're sharing an experience. And so if I can try to capture that, like if I can get someone to like even if it's just a chuckle and they go, like that, like that's a moment where like we both like met at the same time. You know what I mean? And so that's why I love comedy so much. Is like it's a very heartfelt thing to do. It's a very sincere or sweet thing to do if you are coming at it with the approach of I want to connect with this person.
Uh-huh.
And so that's definitely like why I like making comedies. I think dramas are interesting and I would love to learn more about that and like how to make that, how to be honest in that way. But in my own personal life, I use the guise of comedy to like make a connection with somebody.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm experimenting with that. I'm experimenting with that in the film that I'm making now.
Sick.
But it was an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Absolute pleasure, my
Kole
friend.
Boyd, my dear boy, have a good night.
You as well, my friend.
I love you.
Love you too, bud.
All right, see ya. Oh.